Okay, let's do this. It's noon. Hi, everyone. My name is Yannick Abraham. Welcome to our Client Success Series, Episode 1, The Art of the Possible. This is a webinar series presented by a client in collaboration with Jira, our implementation partner. So very excited to be here. You guys should be seeing my screen. And this meeting is going to be recorded. I want to start by saying that, yes, we do love our color. We do love our new branding, Client. There's only a small details left, but even the company is now rebranded to Client. So the Crow group doesn't exist. It's going to be Client. And we do love our colors, and we do have a new approach that we want to take with you guys in terms of modules. For some of you that have been dealing with me in the past and with Drakia in terms of implementation, you might have seen those categories. So with Client now, we're aligning pretty much our development tracks. We're going to align our webinar series, and we're also going to align our documentation along those big modules. And today's webinar, The Art of the Possible, is going to be a journey through those modules as well. So maybe just to do a quick recap in terms of what is that Client Success Series. It's an event for you guys. So it's an event for our customer. Today, it's purely some customer. We have a couple of partners, Salesforce, a couple of people from Salesforce. But it's purely a webinar series dedicated to you guys, our customer. And the goal is for education, try to make you learn new tricks or see new functionality. But also, and I think this is I think there's a big potential here. Some of you guys have mentioned it in the past. We do want to create that thriving ecosystem where you guys can exchange between yourself, between peers, between our customer talking to each other. So there's two sides. So we're going to do a client keynote, which is the first part. So client keynote is where we're going to show off some functionality. Next week, we're going to focus on business development. So that we're going to see how we can use business development with client and looking at more kind of a coaching session. And the week after, we're going to do a customer showcase. So some of you guys, the one that have some guts and want to show how they're doing business development within their client environment, there's going to be 2 or 3 partners showing customer showing on the stage, and then it's going to be an open panel session when everybody can ask questions and we can share best practices. Okay, so it's a pretty and today, like I said, it's the art of the possible, which is an overview. It's a pretty ambitious project. We'll see how this is going to turn out. So the idea is one webinar every week, a keynote, then a showcase. We have 3 before the Christmas break, and then we're going to start back in January, finishing in April with everything in regards of analytics and reporting. Okay. A quick update. It's been tomorrow is going to be 3 days since the new the acquisition, since change of ownership. So I thought I would give you kind of an update of where we stand in terms of what we committed the last time we've talked and the last time I've showed you this slide. So our current objectives are still the same. So we want to enable you faster. We're making some progress. We want to enable you faster. We want to support you better. We want to collaborate on the roadmap and build that thriving ecosystem. So we're making great progress, and we're going to have more in the next few weeks and months. So in terms of enabling you faster, documentation is well on its way. Going back to maybe the new hire, Ilan has joined us, and he's working hard on the release notes, new help section. And we also purchased Trail Ed from Salesforce, so new licenses. So we're going to build new client Trail Ed. Client Trail. So this way it's going to be a new way of learning how to deal with client and work with client and learn client. So our target date for those first few modules are going to be 2021. In terms of support, we're receiving great feedback. I think Alex and the rest of the team, Vikis, are doing a great job in terms of support. Let me know if what you feel, but the feedback we're receiving is great. As per our commitment as well, we gave more than 200 hours of free support in the previous month. So I'm hoping that you guys felt, for the one that you received it, this was useful. The collaboration on the roadmap, I'm very happy about this part. The community, it's live since a month, and I've polled a couple of you guys in terms of where we should go. Documentation was a big part. I have several discussions with people about Jira soon, and definitely it's helping us guide the direction of some of the improvement we want to do. the next release in terms of product, and we're going to adopt a new continuous improvement kind of way of delivering. So the next one is due for December 18. But after that, as soon as we have a new cool component ready, for those who want, they could upgrade as they wish, and we're going to support better documentation along those releases. So for December 18, there is some improvement on the invoice PDF. We're going to look at some of those, but we have survey and board component improvement for the December 18. I've talked about community and the success series launch today, which is a big endeavor, like I said, but very exciting. And I'm hoping you guys are going to enjoy it. Thanks again to everybody involved on Drakia and the client. I've pulled a lot of resources to put this together. So, but I think it's going to be beneficial to every one of us. So maybe Ilan, just write me if the sound is good, the pace is good. I don't have any internet problem. I'm going to continue in the meantime. So the idea of today, the art of the possible. At some point, I've went a bit crazy, I would say, on the script of what I want to show you today. It was kind of a theater, a real-time play between Ralph, Dominic, myself, and I think at the end, I went a bit overboard. So I still kept the scenario, but so it's 50 exciting minutes in the shoe of an operation manager. The idea here is that you can see me, Yannick, as I'm going to be called Yannick Operation. I'm working for a company called BrainBox. And the idea is that in 50 minutes, actually I'm pretty good on time, so in 54 minutes, we have our monthly management meeting. So we need to get prepared for this, and you will see the rest of the story soon. But the concept is that we're going to go through, since this is the art of the possible, we're going to go through all the different modules. I'm lying, I'm late by 2 minutes. So I'm going to speed up a little bit. Business development. So in the business development side of thing, the idea here is that client can help you out. First, client is not just client, or is not just timesheet. A lot of you guys might think that the client is only doing timesheet. It's not. It's a full professional service automation tool. So you can run the entire company on client, your entire business on client. So the question in terms of business development, how we can help, you can see the feature on the right, but the question to ask is, are you guys project forecasting? I'm sure you guys are forecasting some in terms of revenue, most probably opportunity and sales, but are you guys project forecasting in terms of role, demand, in terms of specific role, like I said, and be able to forecast that future workload? And also a fact, and quite often there's a gap between sales and operation when it comes to scoping projects. So sales guy might scope it really easy, but at the end it's a complicated project. So the idea is to work as a unit. So let's jump into a demo of what in the art of the possible, what we can do with client when it comes to business development. Okay, so as any good process, or when I'm getting ready for my meeting, one of the dashboard we're going to be looking at is that business development dashboard. Okay, as you might already see, I'm using the console to do this. I think for those of you that have access to the console, this is really an efficiency tool. It goes, you will see how it goes. I can do the demo as well with the standard mode, but I prefer doing it this way. This is the art of the possible after all. So I want to show you all the tips and tricks. Maybe you've seen here what I did. So you have that small star. When you click on it, it's adding the page you're looking at to your favorite. And then you can go back and you can just click on it and to go back to your favorite. So that's one cool thing to use. When I'm looking at my dashboard, my business development dashboard, usually what I want to see is that the offer that we're putting together, or do we have success with it? We want to try some new approach here at our company. So we have the quick start foundation that we're trying to push. So we can see here that the new project forecasted and the one ongoing in terms of those quick start is going pretty good. And there's an interesting graph in terms of availability of my resources. So some might be, you need to get used to those kind of graph, but this one, the target, as it's mentioned here on top, the target is to be at 0, meaning that you're pretty flush in terms of what you have available in terms of resources and how many projects you have. So as you can see here for us, we're getting into, we're already in trouble in December. but we're going to get in big trouble in January. So with 234 hours available in terms of the engagement lead role, meaning that we have more than one FTE, one full-time resource available for that specific role. So maybe that's one thing to bring to my management meeting. Maybe it's something I can work on. Also, we can see the thing here on the left side. You can see revenue. We can see sales. Definitely adding a little bit of sales could help out. And usually, what I have here in my big screenplay, I have that pop up coming notification showing automatically, but it's not showing now. But I have that message here. I'm sure for those of you guys that using Chatter, you've seen those notifications. So I've been Jim Bean is writing me. So let me look at that. Oops, Jim Bean, can you write me again? Just give me a sec. Anyway, the post was, in fact, we can read it here. Okay, it's not really important where we're going to, but the idea is our sales guy, Jim Bean, is writing us, and he wants a statement of work ASAP. Like I said, we still have 49 minutes left, so yeah, it's going pretty well fast to do those quick start foundation for us to generate a statement of work. So most probably I have time to do it. And you can see here he's detailing what he wants. So it's a quick start foundation. He needs some, I'd love to. Yeah, I know how to get it back to. So I'm going to go to right now. I'm going to go to the account. So he's talking from Deep Dive Tech. Okay, I'm hoping this is going to be the only glitch. And he has that Jim has that opportunity here, and within that opportunity, he has the same message you wrote me. So from here, what I'm going to do when I'm in sales and I'm helping sales in my operation role to help him generate a statement of work. I'm coming here in the opportunity. I've made a copy of this, and another thing that this is Salesforce stuff, but another cool thing that you should use is those notes. So I'm just going to create a new note right away. I'm going to keep that message or that kind of the parameter of the project right here. I'm going to talk about those notes later on. We'll just minimize it. And from here, as you can see, I have a new field called proposal. I have a field called proposal. From here, I could select an existing one, but what I want to do is, as the operation manager, creating a statement of work, I want to create a new proposal. The only thing I'll do here is I'm going to link it to the account. I'm going to save the opportunity. It's a standard Sales Cloud's Salesforce opportunity for the people using it. So proposal play ends with Sales Cloud. And from that proposal, now that we have, which is pretty much, it's an empty proposal, right? What we can do is that we have a button here, import from project. It's a really cool button. I'm hoping I'm going to show. The goal of this meeting, at least, is to show everyone at least 2 new things. I'm hoping I'm going to show a lot more, but if every one of you guys can come out with 2 things, I'm going to be happy. So this one, import from project, I'm going to select a template. So template is key when you want to structure your business and when you want to streamline your operation. So I'm going to select a template as project, and there's a checkbox to create a new project from here. I'm going to hit that import button and take a sip of coffee. Okay, so what it's doing now, it's really doing the same thing as creating a new project from a template. So it's cloning all the tasks, it's cloning all the assignment, it's adding everything to a new project, because we did that create project button. And as you can see here, that new project has been created, P54. It's a project that we've created with the status pipeline. So it's a brand new project with a start date of yesterday. Yesterday, I'm guessing it's the template is set up this way. And what you can see as well here, there's some information coming over in the proposal. So we have an object called proposal line. So you can already see what was included in that project. So all the assignation, the project assignment of this project are coming back here with a rate, a number of hours, and an amount. So this information can easily be added to your statement of work or your opportunity to capture the number of hours in a project. So from here, the other cool thing is that you can see you have project Gantt. So don't forget, I'm in business development. I'm coding a new project. And if I'm looking at as his comments, he's saying we need 16 more hours in planning. So I've loaded a project template, so that project is entirely built for me. I can go ahead and switch. We're going to do some improvement on the Gantt. I can talk to that later on. And now I've realigned all my dates, and I can look at my different tasks. And he said to add 16 hours. I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna pick up this task here, estimated hours. This is inline editable. So it was already 2, so I'm gonna add 8. It's gonna be 18 total. Just by hitting enter, it's saving everything. He also told me that I needed to as an homework for the customer, they need to send us the requirements document. So I'm gonna come here. I'm just gonna do under the customer task section in my project plan. I'm gonna add a new task. We're using naming convention to filter out customer task. It's easier this way. And then it's to send requirements document. Okay, what I'm going to do, there's multiple things we can do from here. So for now, just to save time later on, I could already assign myself on this specific task. So I'm going to go on right away. I'm going to add myself at this on this task as a resource. When I'm assigning homework to my customer, I like to keep track. So when they're telling me it's complete, I'm the one that's going to validate that they really completed. So we're trying to drive accountability as well to our customer. Okay, so now I've added that task. Let me just recap. So, okay, he's also mentioning prepayment. Prepayment, it's a hot topic. Drakia has developed a cool functionality for prepayment that we're most probably going to redo in client. I'm going to come back to that as well later. But let's just go in terms of our milestone. We have a milestone. The way you can do it now without that Drakia plugin is that you can use a milestone, and there's a field called milestone amount, and we're just going to put out $10,000. Okay, and for the rest, he's saying that okay, in that new Quick Start Foundation, now we're starting to sell books, and just in terms, it's helping us give better coaching and training. So we do a lot of change management and user adoption. So we're buying books that we recommend, and we're sending those. We're not making a ton of money for those, but we're just adding a little margin. So we're going to look at creating that moving forward. Okay. So I'm done from here. I've added my hours. My proposal is pretty much to go good to go for my sales guy. So I'm going to come back to it. And now I'm going to redo that import from project. But now instead of taking that template, I'm going to create the new P54 that we created, and I won't check create. So I just want to update my proposal. Most probably we could create a new button here. So if you recall, we were 133.33. I'm just hoping I did this right. So if I refresh the tab, you can see my 16 hours have now been added as an engagement lead, and the price has been adjusted accordingly as well. The prepayment milestone is coming here. There's some subtlety here, so you could go ahead and just delete it if you wanted to, or you could just leave it there if you want to use it differently in your proposal or statement of work. In the project, it exists, and we'll see it later on. Okay. So I think, let me look at my, okay. So from here, I forgot to do one thing, one cool thing. On the project Gantt, there's something called, and usually I like to collapse a little bit some of my section and maybe just leave a milestone open, maybe just realign some column, but I won't do everything. There's a functionality here, export to PNG. So when we do this, it's just gonna download that file. So the PNG file, you can see it at the bottom here. And I'm just gonna use it in a second, okay? From here, so I can go back to my proposal, and if I want, this I didn't know. I've learned that behavior a few days ago by Dominic. So you can drag it from here directly into files, and this way you have it in your record, so easily been added to the system. So now I can maybe just look at it and see, okay, I have my Gantt showing up. So now what I can do, because we're using Chatter right internally, I can go in and I can mention Jim and telling Jim, okay, Jim, your SAO is ready. Take a look. Go close it. Get the go close. I'll do it correctly. Go close it. Take a look. And then I can easily add that file. So because I've dropped it, it's going to be here in my owned by me in my recent file. So I can just go ahead and add it. So this way he's going to also have a copy while he's going to receive it in his in Salesforce and in his email. So generation of SAO pretty rapidly with client. The goal here is really that unity between sales and operation. And if you understood the concept, it's really to try to create a project early in the sales process, and you're going to see what's going to happen next. Because now, if I was able to see that I had a surplus of engagement lead in a month or two, It's because I've created those projects before. And maybe something I'm going to show you in a sec, but something I didn't show you, all those tasks with hours, estimated hours, they were assigned to placeholder resources. So now I can forecast. So that's what we're trying to do here. In my slides, you will see that there's lighter items. So those are future improvement that we're doing. So there is still things to improve on the proposal and contracts. And there's maybe some link with the opportunity that we can have something a bit more solid both ways from and to the opportunity. Okay, so this is business development. And next week, we're going to go deeper. So it's going to be a full hour on more training and coaching on this. So 5 minutes, please. I'm going to keep up in the next modules. Okay, I've mentioned this, but seriously, the beauty I think we can do and we're trying to implement with client and that you guys should do within your business is really to try to structure your processes and be able to standardize your process and your workflow so we can really repeat those success. So when you're doing one thing, one project, and you find a good way of doing it, then it's really just improving on it. So that's what we're trying to show what we can do with the project management side of things in terms of standardization and having clarity in terms of the customer fit and who we should, which consultant or which engagement lead we should send to our customer. So this is what we're going to look at. So we're going to look at what we can now do as a project management. In my scenario, in my play, Jim is a good guy, is a great sales guy, so I've been able to secure this deal right away. So let's just go ahead and look at what needs to be done as when we close a deal. Okay, so if I'm going back to I'm still in my proposal, right? I have that P54 project that I can open. When you're in console, you see the idea of a console is that I've opened up the account, then the opportunity, then the proposal. Now I have the project. So I have everything under Deep Dive Tech. But now we're going to focus on the project. So I'm going to set it as a work space tab. Maybe we're going to do a little bit of cleanup. And now we're going to start working on that project. Okay, so now it's no more in pipeline. We're going to move it in planning. Maybe we can also rename it. P54 is not great, but it helps also when we're doing planning. So I'm just going to name it Deep Dive Foundation. Save it. And from here, what I want to show, it's first, if you notice, we're on the standard Salesforce object, so our records or the detailed page of a Salesforce object. So you see here, I have 3 columns. You guys can decide how many columns you have, how many header section. You can even build custom of the page like this. But for what I want to show you is that we're moving a little bit away from the My Project concept of that interface. So we can use now just the standard record view. And what we do is that you have those component now you can drop. So we've seen the Gantt on the proposal, but you also have the Gantt right in the project object, right? So you have your project Gantt right here. I'm looking at my Deep Dive Foundation project. But what I want to show you today is that task checklist. So most probably you guys are using View in Crow. It's been rebranded to My Project View here. It's still available, but now the new component we're doing still need improvement, but the new component we're doing is this one here, the task list. So I'm going to look at that prep task and coming back to trying to structure our work. So if I open up this task, I'm going to the details section. I can see that because it was loaded from a template, right? So I have a description of the task. So see the checklist and make sure that all steps are completed before resuming. And don't forget, the prep time is billable. So that's one big concept that's coming back over and over again when I'm talking to people. So a lot of consultants, they're asking, or they're not asking, but they're not logging all their time when they're doing a transition from sales to ops or when they have requirements gathering. So the idea of build shyness, we're trying to prevent it with that kind of structure. So, okay, he's telling me there's a checklist on top. So if I go here on top and I go to checklist, I can now see that, oh, a checklist has been also loaded from the template at the beginning. So I need to adjust the date. I'm in my preparation task. No, I'm going to adjust the date of the project, add the billing contact, find the resource, assign resource, my prepayment complete, do buying all those books I've mentioned before, logging my time, and generating and sending that prepayment invoice. And we're all going to do this in the next 25 minutes. Okay, so first, let me just go to the schedule. Okay, I'm assigned, so I'm allowed to log time and do things with that task. So looking at date and then creating the billing contact. It was easier to just show you some screenshots. So one great way to add a contact from your email, because for example, I might have received the billing contact information by email. It's those plugin on the right. It's a Salesforce plugin, but it's working very well with clients. So when you're clicking on an email, if the customer or the contact doesn't exist in Salesforce, it's going to show you here in client. It's going to show you. So you can press add to Salesforce, and it's going to create a contact. From there, as soon as it's a contact and you want to log that email, you can log it against the contact, but also against the project or the account, for example. So it's an easy way to do things. And I forgot to put that screenshot. Dominic, you can take notes. You can also here, when I'm going to have logged it, I can click on the project and I can go even change some items in the project right from here within my inbox. So that's a really powerful tool. Okay. So let me go back to my my demo. So let's imagine that I've created that that billing contact. So we've adjusted the date, we've added the billing contact, and now what we're going to do is that we're going to go in and we're going to try to see who's the best fit to take that project. Okay. So for that, I'm going to switch to the resource planner within a project. So there's a button top right. It's opening up that planner, and I can see again that, okay, I've assigned myself that first task, the prep task. It was for 1 hour. But what we have here is that we have the engagement lead and we have the solution admin. So for now, let's see who can do the engagement lead role. So by clicking on the engagement lead, it brought me all the engagement lead role within my company. There's a filter here, and you can see that we have the filter. I could add more. I could add consultant. For my demo, I'm going to keep it here. We can see what is the demand. So we can see 40 hours here, but she has 24. Rachel, Michael is a bit better. So we're not too far away. So let's see which one is the best fit for us. So if I click those resources and I compare those resources, I'm going to be able to see a lot of information here. So first, we can compare skills. First, let's compare which team she's from, region, if she's from a specific practice, and then her skill. For that specific mandate, maybe Spanish is key, or maybe she needs to be a Service Cloud pro. So you might want to filter those resources this way. And then you have all the information regarding the cost rate and bill rate. So maybe there's a way that I can still make this work with Rachel. She seems to be the most proficient. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to book Rachel for this. So now it's doing. It's switching all the engagement lead assignment to Rachel. So now we see we don't have that placeholder anymore, but we do have Rachel assigned for this project. Great. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to go back to our project. And I'm going to just assign, if I'm not already assigned. Okay, we already assigned on that prepayment task. The only thing, though, is that we didn't put the money figure before. So it was, did I put it? Oh, yeah, I've already put it. Okay, so that's fine. We're good with that. And I think we're done for project management. So what I wanted to show you is mainly what we're working on. So we're working on new components. So those are called Lightning Web Components. They load faster. That's the newest technology. So I know that some of our pages are painful to load. This is the idea that even if you have hundreds and hundreds of tasks, it doesn't matter. It's going to load fast. So this is what we're trying to do. And we're going to come up with also other one like the board. So we're doing a lot of those Lightning Web Component, and the compare is something also that a lot of people didn't know they could do. Okay, everything about scheduling assignment, you can go deeper. I'm not even the best guy. A lot of people within the great Drake and client team are better than me in terms of assignment. So those are going to be covered within the webinar series within those modules. So the concept here, though, is that structure. So you have, with clients, you have a way that you can structure and make your project better, that you can onboard your people faster and make it easy for them to follow a recipe and repeat that recipe. And when you're doing a recipe, you can really get that repeatability, and then you get success out of it, and you get quality, and then you can predict a lot better. So I definitely recommend you guys to think about how you can maybe structure a bit more your project with either the templates or the description or the checklist. Okay. 12:23, 6 minutes late. I'm fine, I'm fine. So let's go to, now let's go to execution. So execution, what we want here is that it's supposed to be a tool of productivity for your consulting team, right? So the team that are doing the work, you don't want them to spend too much time in the system, but when they do spend time in it, you want it to be very efficient. So you want to enable your employee with good tools, make their life easier, and try to have fun with it. So that's the idea as well. We're going out with this. So the best way to go in and do when you're a consultant and doing your work would be to go in My Work. Okay, so I'm going to switch, and now I'm going to open My Work. And we're also building a new My Work component, so it's going to be an improved one. For now, I'm assigned to a lot of projects, so I'm just going to filter out with my deep dive project. And I'm going to look at the task that I'm assigned to. Okay. So I have that prep that I'm working on, and I have that prepayment. For a prepayment, milestone prepayment to become billable, invoiceable, I need to move it to complete. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move it to complete. And I'm going to look at my task to see what else I have to do in terms of my checklist. So find resource, we've done it. Assign resource, we've done it. My prepayment, I've done it. We need to buy the book, and I need to log my time. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and log my time. When I ask my team on the service side, my consulting team, to really nail down some project or to be the more efficient, I like them to focus and block big period of time in their calendar, so they can really focus on you guys, on their customer. And a good way, I think, to do that is that you close everything else, you start client, and then you press that play button. It's going to start your timer, and then you just execute. So I love working with the timer when I'm doing some consulting work. For now, I'm just going to enter it manually. So let's say I'm doing that task right now. So it's going to take us half an hour to do so. And that's the prep work. So I'm going to add a note, and I'm going to do 3 minutes. And then I'm gonna save. I'm gonna show you another way of looking at it too. You might have seen the location look up in the bottom. Okay, so I've logged my time, and the other thing would be expenses. We want those books, so we went away and ordered 40 books from Audible or from our local library, and now what we want to do is that we want to charge back those books to our customer. So I'm going to come back to my project. I'm going to go in a related section, and I'm going to look at the expense section. There's no expense report, so I'm going to create a first expense report. Again, the only thing I need to maybe write here is the training books. I don't need to select anything else. I'm going to leave it blank for now. What I want to show you is, again, it's another component we've added. Maybe you've not been using this for your expense, but in an expense report now, you can drop that component on the right side. So it's an expense component. So the date is already as of today. I can select my expense type, training material in this case. It was 40 book. Let's say it was for $800. It's going to be billable to our customer. I'm going to attach a receipt. I can either upload, I can drop it. I'm just going to select my receipt here. It's adding it, saving it, and then save this expense. And now I have that brand new expense report with that expense line that is billable at 800. Okay, so we've pretty much done what we needed to do on our task. So if I just recap, I think the only thing left for us to do would be to invoice that prepayment. So let's look at it. We've bought the book, we've expensed it, we've locked our time, and yes, the only thing left is to generate and send that invoice. Okay. So let me go back and do just a quick recap. In terms of execution, we want that consistent workflow. We want to give proper tools to our employees so they can be efficient and they can really focus on giving the service, not working on the admin side. You want them to be billable as much as possible. I'm sure everyone wants to be higher than 75% billable. So it's not by losing time with project managing or accounting stuff or logging in time that you're going to be able to achieve that. So That's the goal here. We know that this has been promised for a long time. Mobile timesheet, it's coming. It's going to be end of January. I'm hoping we're going to have that new mobile timesheet, which I hope is going to also turn into a new timesheet component. I didn't show you the timesheet component, and actually I will in a second. And we have a new concept we want to play with, which is called Touchpoint, which is more kind of a meeting cadence or meeting minutes. Okay, let's jump into invoicing. Okay, invoicing. A lot of people don't use that. I think you're stopping maybe before. Maybe you are doing the approval, so at least you're locking your rates. Approval will lock some rates in some of the project and task. But this is, I think, one of the most powerful thing you could do with a client is to make sure that your invoice are generated with client and that are sent to accounting with interconnection, your accounting platform with interconnection we're going to see next. So the key here is really that first, you don't want to be stopped because of your way that you can bill your customer. So you want a system that's going to allow you to have new idea, like selling books with a project. So you don't want the system to stop you for trying things, and you want to be able to make sure that nothing falls into the crack and accounting is happy, right? So you don't want to spend time generating a report for them all the time. So let's look at what we can do. So first, in every good process in Salesforce and in client, you should work with dashboards. I should not have closed that. You should work with dashboard a lot. So again, we have another one here called that Art of the Possible Invoicing. That's one thing we're going to deliver a lot new dashboards in the upcoming weeks and months. But that Art of the Possible Invoicing dashboard is going to tell us, if I refresh it, it's going to tell us what needs to happen. So, sorry, I forgot to do one thing. When I vlogged my time, I said I would show you timesheet. So I need to come here. As you can see, I've done my prep work with that 1 hour here. I just need to go ahead and submit my timesheet at the end of the week or at the end of the period that has been defined. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to submit it. So coming back to my dashboard, I'll refresh it again. So now I'm going to see my expense that just got created. I'm going to see, sorry about that. So usually you would also see my line of time here. My 1 hour is going to should be shown here. We can also see that the Yannick operation, so myself, that's not doing a good job of approving those timesheets. And I can see how much uninvoiced milestone there is. So really, this is something your accounting team should do before doing their invoicing, to take a global look at what's happening within the system. I'm going to come back to it, but anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to approve. So for approval, there's a ton of different things we can do. First, you might have seen that pop-up come in. Marvelous. Thank you, Jim. So you have that. This is a standard approval process that we're using with client of Salesforce, and this is the standard way of approving as well. So you could come in with that notification and approve. One other easy way is that if you're going here in my timesheet and you have, in the timesheet object, and if you have the proper right, so this is a standard list view. And in that standard list view, I could go ahead and I could select multiple timesheet, and I can come here and just do approve, and then apply this to both, and then save, and it could approve. So that's the lazy way of doing it, but it's working well. Or we do have that mass timesheet approval system that I'm going to show you in a sec. Maybe you guys have some comments about it. Maybe there is some improvement in here, but let me just search. And again, I should see here my 1 hour. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to select that. I could have selected more, and I'm going to approve this timesheet. And now my timesheet is approved. The expense report needs to be approved too. So I didn't submit it for approval. I'm the one approving it. So what I'm going to do, as you can see, there's no status here. So I'm just going to reopen it, and I'm going to change its status to approve. So you can do it directly on the object as well. So you don't absolutely need, depending on your setting, you don't absolutely need to go to that approval process. Okay, so now everything is approved. I've checked if there was any irregularities. Now I'm ready to pretty much to go ahead and generate my invoice. So I'm going to use generate invoice functionality. Looking at my notes while it loads. So everything has pretty much happened today. So, but I can go back in time just to show you for those that have never seen this UI. So now I'm searching for all the data in our system that are available for invoicing. As I can see here, we have our deep dive project with, why is my 1 hour not there? Dominic, did I approve it? Or? I know you're not on the panel list. Give me a sec. My timesheet. The date of the generated invoice. I didn't look at the proper date. Give me a sec. So you can always go back and because I didn't create anything, right? So it's just generating the records for us to see. I think I just missed the date at some point. So now I can see it. So I have that $10,000 of fixed amounts for the prepayment, that 1 hour of time at $250 an hour, and that total amount expense for the book. So I could have generated more. For now, I'm just going to generate one. Go ahead, create invoice. I have that one invoice 140 that I could open just by clicking. What I'm going to go there, I'm going to open up invoice from here. And then here I have a list view called unpaid invoices. So clearly we need to do something with our collection. This being said, we had that. Oh, perfect. The total were 0, but it was false positive, I guess. So now we have that new invoice that we just generated, correct? And from here we have, okay, so from that invoice, it's all good. It's deep tech dive. One thing I want to show you, we've added a new field called payment information. So if you want to put your bank information, so your transit information or your wire information, you can put it in your organization object, the company object, and then it's going to be copied by default per organization in the payment information field. And what that means, we also made some improvement on the preview PDF. I think now it's a lot better in terms of font. The font can be changed, so it's a lot smaller. And you can see here we have that payment information that can be shown, right aligned. We've worked with some of you guys, some of our customers to make it better. We do also have new fields to hide amount column and to show those subtotal here. So those are all new requirements that have been asked by one of our customers. And then we've just implemented it, and they are using it now. For you guys, it's going to be mainly in the next release on the 18th of December. You're going to be able to use it. What I didn't like though in that invoice is that you can see here I have my 1 hour. So it's a prepayment invoice. So most probably the service hour doesn't make sense to send it at this point. Maybe you didn't know that, but here, if I'm looking at the invoice line, so this is the concept of the invoices. So if I'm clicking on the related, I have all the different line items that can be possible in an invoice. So we have the time, which are standard invoice line item, that 1 hour. We have the expense, 800, and we have that fixed fee at 10,000. You also have invoice additional items. So for example, if you wanted to give a one-time discount, or if you want to do a write-off, you can just create one new line and put a negative value. Or if you just want to add something specific for yours, or you want to use it differently for the invoice, you can use that the way you want. For the rest, those are generated by the project. So from here, I wanted to remove that line, right? So I don't need to go back in the project. I just need to either uncheck here the include checkbox, or just go ahead and delete that line. So I'm not deleting the milestone or anything. I'm just deleting the invoice expense. Oops, wrong one. Yeah, we don't have an undo, so for this I would need to restart. So let me just go ahead and remove this one instead. Oh yeah, that's right. We do have an undo. We have the trash can. It's also maybe a feature I should show you, but I don't have time. Yes, we could get that back. We have the trash can now with the Salesforce, so the recycle bin. Let me do it right now. Recycle bin. Let's hope it's gonna work. Invoice line expense, restore. That wasn't part of the script, but I think it might work. So here we go, it's back. So we have that expense line. Now we can generate again that PDF. What I want to show you is that I can easily download it. Save it where I want. Again, it's going to put it here if I'm using Chrome. I think it might do the same with other browser. And then again, I could drop it in my file object right there. And what's cool, and most probably what you guys should do, you can send email with Salesforce and Client, but you can also link it from your Gmail or Outlook. And you can use template from here. So you should have an invoice template. So it's going to fill up. It's going to pick up the start date from the invoice. And then because I've just dropped that that invoice PDF, it's going to be here like that deep dive tech 1.1 invoice. And then so it's going to attach it here, and then I can just go ahead and send it. So let me just, usually I would, oh, I've missed one step, was it was Natalie Black, if you recall. She was our customer. So I'm going to send it to Natalie, and then go. So now Natalie has our invoice. And then when you're using Outlook or Gmail, you can also see if those email have been opened up. So in this case, I don't see it, but you can. So it's been tracked, but I can also see if it's been opened up. Okay, I think I'm done for invoicing. Yep. Okay. So the idea here, in a service business, cash flow is king. So you want to be able to invoice within a day. So you guys tell me, it's the 2nd of the month. Are you still doing your invoices? Are you using Client? Depending on the volume, but it should go fast. So if it's not going fast, call us. We can probably help you out. If you're not doing invoices within Client, let us know as well. We're going to help you out. But the key here is that you don't need your accounting team to do double entry. We're going to add a prepayment module soon, and most probably we're going to have something maybe about task percentage billing coming as well. For this, we're still looking at the roadmap. Okay. I'm going to talk about the interconnection. So interconnection, we do have, I do put a lot of value on the accounting connection. So we have QuickBooks, Xero, Sage Intacct. We do also have Jira. We're having a discussion with our customer that are using Jira to see how we can maybe incorporate or connect with Jira. This being said, I think a Client is going to play a big role in terms of agile moving forward. So for this, keep posted. And the fact that you can connect with Salesforce, it's really a powerful platform, right? So, and for us, like for example, this, you have that invoice, and then usually what I could show in a demo, and we're not connecting with that specific org, but you have a section in the invoice called accounting, and you have those invoice ID. So when you move the stage to posted, the stage of posted is gonna send directly to QuickBook, for example. And then if I'm coming back to my slide, I can see here this is an invoice that's been a QuickBook invoice created by Client, and you can see all the lines here are represented. So you don't need to key in all this detail; it's all done automatically. So now your ledger is up to date, and you can do your collection either way. You can do your collection in Client, or you can do your collection in your accounting, and then maybe just updating the invoice here. Okay, people, I think it's key, and most probably it's going to be. We cannot do on a service side, a service business. We cannot do anything without good people, good team members. So we need to hire people. We need to evaluate those people when qualify them, and we need to track performance. We need to make sure that we onboard them correctly. So there's a lot around people. So most probably we're going to push the envelope on that front. But how can we help you now? This is art of the possible. So I want to show you what you can do right now, and we can talk later on about what we can do. So Rachel was our resources. Let's say we had some doubt and we want to see, is she really a good fit? So we can go in and just open up our the project resource of Rachel. So Rachel, this is kind of a central hub of Client for your project resource. So first, you can see their detail or financials. We already looked at that, but you can also see you can drop reports in Client and in Salesforce. So you can see here this is our work week. So she's not in the last few weeks. She's not scared of doing a little bit of overtime. I can keep notes of my people as well. and those can be personal, so nobody can look at it. So maybe I can keep track of her career path, and she's dedicated, and she does want to take my role as an operation manager. So and this is their objective that we've defined together, that she wanted more managerial responsibilities. So maybe I can help her get there. I can also track maybe their resume right here. So just dropping their resume here. So quite often our customer wants resume of our people when we're having them. So keeping always the latest resume here. And again, with the because it's so easy to send an email from Salesforce, from the client, then it's very useful. Again, there's a ton of things that we can have here. We can see our engagement. Maybe what we want to look at is also our work schedule. So we can see that she's on the US holidays. US holidays, they have, I'm in Canada and US, we don't have the same Thanksgiving. So Canada holidays are different than US holidays. So this make it easier when you have multiple region to cover within your business. We can also maybe just by looking at the related, so our skills are listed here, the projects she's been involved in, all the different assignment, and maybe information about performance. You do your timesheet correctly, you would also have all the time comments. So if you want to see what she's been working on lately, utilization. And for example, we also have an object called candidate, which is very, very light at this point, but this is maybe something of interest to continue that track of tracking candidate before they come in project resources. So that's maybe one concept to explore with you guys to see if there's some appetite for applicant tracking system, maybe more performance management, maybe handle real-time performance tracking. So I have a lot of ideas in that regard. So if there's some of you that are interested to have that discussion, let me know. Okay. Okay, from here, what we want to do, maybe the next block is about security and performance. And now security and permission. I won't go in details. It's approval process, profile, permission set, custom settings. Those are the objects we're dealing with. And because you're on Salesforce with client, you are on a secure platform, so you don't need to take care of this. So if that's the beauty of that platform, is the granularity and how we can really configure who can see what. And that's why also we can share information with our customers. So I won't get into details. We have a full webinar for more technical people to talk about this permission set. So for example, with Rachel, she want to do more managerial stuff. So most probably we're going to give her the crew admin. We're going to rebrand it, but we're going to give her the crew admin permission set. Maybe there's also custom setting that we need to change for her. So we can explore that later on. What I want to talk about is our management meeting is in 8 minutes now. So I need to get ready on the analytics and reporting to get ready for that. So let's I would just want to show you how easy it is to enable somebody to go on the community and be able to serve your customer with a customer community. Okay, oops, let me go back, sorry. So the service side of client, we're using customer community. We want collaboration. We want to be able to assign homework to our customer. Okay, so if I'm going back to my environment, I've closed everything. So let me go back to my project. For those who have questions today, it's pretty much a monologue. The other one is gonna have more interaction. But for those who want to stay over, myself and the team, we can stay for half an hour after. So if anybody want to stay, just stay on the line, and then we can answer some questions. A second. Okay, so from here, what I want to do, just for the demo to make sense, I'm going to go back to my task list. And what I have now, there's another thing I want to do first. Natalie is our Natalie Black, right? She's our customer. So Natalie Black, I've created it via Gmail. She's now our contact in our system. And when you have community, you have a button here, enable customer user. And for that, it's creating a real Salesforce user. It's just you only have access to a subset of your data. And so the subset you define in community. I won't go in detail into it, but I'm going to open up now the one that's already configured. And when you already configured, you have another button that I'm going to show in a sec. I'm going to just assign that customer that we've created in the system. I'm going to assign her that that task here, the send the requirement document. It was our own work, right? If you recall my script. So I'm going to have one here. I'm going to close. Let me just assign this one too. We're fixing that the fact that it's opening up small, big, small, big. This is also going to be okay. I have to assign myself first. Anyway, I won't do that. So let's log in now with Nathalie. So I have now, because I've enabled her as a customer user, I can log in as her just to see if I've configured her correctly, and if I need to ever debug her stuff, I can log in. So this, you have full control. So branding, you've seen ours maybe. Branding, you can play a lot with it. What you show, completely under your control. But for example, she's starting with us, so she has only one project. So she can track her upcoming milestone. She can click on the My Project object and then dig in, for example, in a specific project. So let's go into deep dive. And then she has the details, so only a subset of the detail of the project. She can also have access to read-only Gantt. So this is beautiful when you want to expose data. So it's the full Gantt, but as a read-only. Maybe you want to assign all the assignment in the project, so you can keep track. Again, it's all about transparency with your customer and one you want to show. If they need to create issue and risk, if Nathalie ever face any problem and about the project, and or maybe a new risk need to be arise in the project, we can do that here. And then we have all the invoicing stuff that can also be shown. So the same invoice that we just generated, we have it here. I don't think I've put the file correctly, but you should also have access to the file. Maybe if you're using Salesforce cases, like we do at Client, you would also have cases here, so you can track your cases. Then for her work, so we just assigned her some homework, right? So if I did, yeah, I did it correctly. So you can see here, now she have that card, it's hers. So now she can go in, she can go and see, most probably I would have put some details. And then she can even, no, she cannot, but she can write to me, and she can collaborate even with Chatter. So this is all in terms of trying to collaborate better with your customer. So that's the concept of the customer community. A lot more you can do, because you could have contractor communities. So for your external contractor, there's something also called vendor invoice I didn't talk about. So to able to invoice time for your to easily see or generate invoice for your consultant, so you don't have to do double entry there too. So there's a lot of other things we can do with community. Okay, and then last module, let's go back to our use case. So the key here is that with Salesforce and Client, you really have real life data to play with. There's multiple ways that you can look at your data. Having dashboard is the key. So our commitment is going to be to deliver 10 new dashboard in the next, at the end of January, we're going to have a 10 new dashboard that's going to be relevant for the 9 module plus 1 additional one. So that's the concept. So those dashboard are key to drive our performance. You should run your management meeting looking at dashboard. In our case now, because we did so well, if I'm going back to my dashboard here, the business development dashboard we were looking at the beginning, and now if you recall, we were 200. We're in the yellow portion of it. So let me just refresh the dashboard to see if there's any kind of improvement. Oh yeah, you can see that December we did definitely squish, and now we're back to 0. We're back as well in terms of green, and we're starting to come back from that freezing zone. We're kind of hitting the ceiling here. Now we're starting to go back up. So I did my job well. I've been able to close, to generate a new statement of work and do all the steps related to get that project going within the last 50 minutes. This because our process are streamlined with Client. Is there anything else missing? I'm going to go back in present mode. Next step, if you want to stick around, like I said, Q&A. The next module next week is business development. And the week after is the customer showcase. I know a couple of you has already answered me for this one, so I might have. I'm late. I'm sorry. I was heads down on trying to build that webinar, so I owe you a couple of answers on the community. But for the customer that have some guts and want to show how they handling sales within client, I'm looking for volunteers. So let me know as well. It's been a pleasure. I hope it was useful and you at least learned 2 new things today. And I'm hoping that that webinar success series is going to be a hit for you guys in the upcoming weeks. Thank you very much. See you later. We're gonna see if people are sticking around. If we have question, I'm gonna open up this the chat. Yes, this has been recorded, so we're gonna share it. If everything goes according to plan, we might be able to create our first trail, maybe also to host it in it. So we'll see it. There was usually a question about Sage 50. Depending if it's an online version or on-premise. On-premise, it's a bit more tricky to do. So yeah, but otherwise, let me know if it's something that might be feasible. To test a new feature, how do we volunteer? What we're going to do now is we're going to have continuous improvement on feature. So we're going to notify you. We're going to do big event when you have something big, but mostly every time we have something new, and I'm hoping within every 2 weeks, we're going to have something delivered when you get to our good cadence. So you can install them at that point. If you guys want to be part kind of a beta project, this would be like on a specific module. So again, we have topics in our community. So maybe you can just write us out there so we can address it and we can talk. So seriously, Jira is the next big thing. I have a couple of meetings next week with some of our customers to see if there's value to improve that. But after that, we are building our big roadmap for the next year. I would say there's 2 things. Community is the best thing. If you're not on the community already, Austin is asking, how do we volunteer to test a new feature? How do we work? So yes, you can reach out to either Ralph, myself, but the best thing I would say is to really log in on the community. If you don't have access to the community, you should write to support@klient.com. So maybe I can just write it here and ask for a community user. And then from there, just you can mention me, Yannick Abraham, and then that's it. I'm going to be in touch. Ilan as well is going to be so Yannick or Ilan. Ilan is responsible of is our community manager, so he's going to also answer from time to time. Let me catch up with the question. Okay. The client console, it's a Salesforce thing. So it's really depending on the type of license you have. So if you guys are already on Sales Cloud, you have a few of them. If not, we can have that discussion. So we're trying to get it added to our our product book. So I can send you information after that, but definitely it's something to look into. The console works well. The invoicing client be updated automatically. You would have some of the update, yes, as soon as you update on the December 18 release. For the font, you're going to be able to play with it on a custom setting. Again, it's going to be part of our documentation. Another question was about what about if a payment comes through in QuickBooks? Can this be pushed to client? So that would be an improvement, but it is an improvement that a lot of our customers are asking. So payment for now, for example, if you have an invoice in client and you record a payment in client, it's going to be pushed to Xero or to QuickBooks. But if you record a payment in QuickBooks, it won't be pushed back to client. So yes, that bi-directionality, we're looking into it in a future release. It's not planned yet. This is something in Jan as well. We hired 2 of our, I skipped that part, but we have hired our new product team. Oh, I said it fast. 2 product manager, 1 technical and 1 senior project manager. So those guys are working hard on our roadmap, and we're going to expose that roadmap through Client for sure. So you're going to be able to see, for example, that QuickBooks improvement. You can see it when we're going to plan it in the future. Salesforce inbox functionality. Okay, there's two things. So there's Salesforce inbox. That's a paid add-on from Salesforce. So another great one. Maybe we can add in our product book. This you can buy directly from Salesforce if you need to. It has additional functionality, but the one I was showing with the screenshot, this one is coming. It's a Chrome extension, so you need to be in Chrome, but it's a Chrome extension, and then now it's free. So you can easily add it, but you don't have the added functionality like send later or giving like time slot for your availabilities in your calendar. So there's a lot of cool stuff. Read receipt, but no, the other one is free. Another one, QuickBooks integration, vendor object included. Yes, the vendor invoice is included in Client automatically. For the sync, I do believe we do sync it. I will need to talk to the team to make sure. So this question is from Katie. So maybe we can come back to Katie directly to you afterwards. Yes, for Jira, again, Katie, if you can just log in maybe on the community. If you go in the, since we're talking about it, maybe it's a good thing I logged in. Still sharing my screen, right? Just want to see my team is writing. I just want to make sure. Vendor invoice, yes, they're syncing. And maybe I can just show you what our community looks like. So now I'm logging as a community user. So same as you would on your side. The main thing here is like, for example, if you have question about a specific topic, we're going to readjust those by module as well. So we have a little bit of cleanup to do here. There's a couple of things. So Katie, in roadmap, there is a discussion about Jira. So if I'm not mistaken, let's see. Does your company use Jira? So there was a poll. And after that, there was several comments about it. I think there's a few polls. So if you can just write me here. Or you also have in the collaborate and grow section, which is more kind of a general discussion. For example, I've asked about documentation. Vicky's asking about improving Gantt chart. So yeah, please join us in those discussions on our community. For invoicing, can we download mini invoice PDF at a time or only one per time? I do believe it's only one per time, but this could be maybe a low-hanging fruit to generate more via the list view. So again, Michael, you're on the line, so maybe just add that. So maybe from a list view in our roadmaps, or at least our idea roadmap. So to generate invoice PDF in mass via the list view, it's a good one. Yes, for now, the documentation is still on crow.zendesk.com. This again, opening in the end of January, everything will be switched. December 18, the new release note and the new feature documentation is going to be on our community. But for the old documentation, it's still on Zendesk. We're hoping to retire Zendesk in Q1 of next year. Okay. There any other chat window? I think I'm done with the question. Anything else? Anybody? Oh, no, there's more. Bidirectional sync. We have some people that really want that. Team, is there anything else missing? Anybody else want to even talk? If you prefer to talk, I can definitely put you on a panel list and we can share a video as well. Don't have to be alone. Okay, I think this is it. That's a wrap. So I hope it was useful. Make sure that you are registered. If you register for this one, you should have all the other one in your calendar. Yeah, we're going to most probably send you some survey after that. We have some Zoom survey we want to do as well in the next future session. So we're going to send you some client survey to know how you like that session and what we can improve. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see you guys next week. Thank you very much. See you soon.